Welcome to Exploring Harry Potter. Hermione and Trelawney. Besides the rhyming names, these two characters actually have a lot more in common than anyone, especially Hermione, might think. While it seems they are polar opposites, they are not. In fact, they are far from it. I'm sure many people remember Hermione up and leaving divination class in a very dramatic and angry display. Something that shocked everyone. The most dedicated and rule-adhering student just stormed out of class. Hermione was told by most professors how bright she was. The brightest witch of her age, they'd say. She smiled and took this with great pride, and Hermione always scored high marks in her classes and exams. But in divination, Hermione realized this was something she was not in control of, and that, I think, got to her more than anything else. For the first time, Hermione wouldn't have all the answers. There was no method to memorize, no incantations or charms, no measurable ingredients. The subject of divination is open to interpretation, seeing past the physical world, something Hermione refuses to believe or accept as possible. So the class watched her storm out in shock and whispers, eyes wide open, looking at Professor Trelawney, who, of course, acted like she saw it coming. Hermione feared not being able to excel, but not for selfish reasons. She felt she actually had to. She had to show the school, the students, the whole wizarding world one thing: that a Muggle-born is smart, hardworking, and skilled. That, above all, they are worthy. To show others, like Draco Malfoy and the other Slytherins, that they were wrong. Staying in a class she might not do well in, that was her Achilles heel, her weakness, her fear, her insecurity. She held herself to such high standards, and that all mirrors in Professor Trelawney. Sybil Trelawney is a half-blood. She was sorted into Ravenclaw when she was a student at Hogwarts, which shows she has great intellect, creativity, and wit, things Ravenclaw prizes. She, too, felt like she had a lot to prove to others. She was the great-great-granddaughter of a famous and genuine seer named Cassandra Trelawney. Imagine how inadequate she must have felt growing up in a shadow as great as that. Everyone studying her abilities all her life, picking apart every vision or prediction she made, losing hope every time she was wrong, herself included. It may explain why she is so timid and unsure, that kind of pressure and scrutiny. And while her real-life predictions were few and far between, they could arguably be the most important ones in centuries. It was her prediction that sent Lord Voldemort to the Potter's house that night. The same one that also helped Dumbledore set about his plan to reach victory. Two girls who had much to prove, the pain of possible failure crippling them both in similar ways. When Hermione grew older, wiser with time, I think she would have seen this as well, and possibly regrets storming out of Professor Trelawney's class that day. She'd at least wish she'd done it in a more polite fashion. Maybe. Possibly.
Is this all real? Or is it just happening inside my head?
Of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. Why should that mean that it's not real?
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. If you liked what you saw, you can subscribe and most importantly hit the notification bell so you won't miss an upload.